August 24th, 10:38 a.m. Today is Wednesday. So I just got done jogging with my 18-pound vest, 1 mile, one direction. Then I turned around and jogged to the next pole, ran as fast as I could to the next pole, then skipped to the next pole, walked backwards to the next pole, jogged to the next pole, walked to the next pole, then ran as fast as I could to the starting point. And that's what I get for being inconsistent. So that's why I worked out the way I did today. Because you actually do get a sore ass when you sit on your ass all day. So I'm naming today's video Gary Farmer because I just got done watching the 5th episode of season 2 Rez Dogs. It was funny. It had me laughing. What is what does snake mean? What native doesn't know what that means? But anyway, so I was disappointed, but I don't think all natives or indigenous natives or whatever they're called around the world these days. But me as a tribal member of Confederate Tribes of Warm Springs, Oregon, who is sober, and I'm not the only one who's sober as fuck, but there's probably many Native Americans and other indigenous people out there that are sober. And I have a story to tell you. I don't know if Gary Farmer remembers this, but he was in Portland, Oregon, downtown Portland, at the Waterfront, at one of these bars, and he was doing a show with one of our tribal members. Right now, I can't think of his name, but his last name is David, and he's from Warm Springs, Oregon, enrolled over there. But I can't remember his first name. He's a comedian, and he was the opener for Gary Farmer. And then Gary came out and did his show. The funny part about that night, Native American Rehabilitation Association gave tickets to all the natives that went to outpatient and all the alumni of NARA outpatient who went there for aftercare and who still go there off and on to get support from other Native Americans in recovery. We show up and there's a long line of Native Americans waiting to get into the show. And we get inside, it's in a bar setting, and we all just looked around like, whoa, knowing we shouldn't be there because we're all in recovery and we're like skating on ice, thin ice. But we're surrounded by more than 20 Native Americans in recovery with multiple years of clean time. And there was only a small handful of non-natives there that took up one table. And I can remember there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 6 of them, non-natives, shiapos in our language, white people. And we went up to the bar. We asked, what do you have to drink besides alcoholic beverages? Of course, they had pop and water, so we're all walking around with water. And if you want pop, but the pop. I know I didn't buy pop because I don't go for cold products, so I didn't buy any pop. And everybody they like, well, what else do you guys sell? They sell like appetizer foods, like ugly, the nacho cheese stuff. Yeah. And those chicken rings, barbecued, honey, regular, and can't remember what all they sold, but I remember somebody had bought the mixed plate of chicken wings. And then the show starts, and we're all standing there playing pool or just, munching out, drinking our water, laughing. And every time a native would walk by that table, we'll buy you a drink, we'll buy you a drink, we'll buy you a drink. They just looked at him like, no, thank you, and just walk on. We'll buy you a drink, we'll buy you a drink, we'll buy you a drink. To all the natives walking by, look at him, no, thank you, and walk off. To all the natives, they did that. We'll buy you a drink, we'll buy you a drink. Come on, come sit with us, come sit with us. No, thank you. We all said no. And those shiapos were looking at us like, because we're natives. Natives have a reputation for being drunk off their asses in the bar, slobbering all over themselves, sweating, oily face, so shiny you can see the reflection off of their face, and their breath just like smells like dragon breath. And staggering, trying to talk, but they sound like, whoa, whoa, what's up, and yeah, well, it was the opposite that night. It was the total opposite that night. All the natives ruled that night. They didn't drink. It was the first time I was in a bar with all Native Americans sober. In episode 5, series 2 of Rez Dogs, glamorize the lifestyle of drinking. I mean, I'm 52. I don't drink. And I know there's other natives who can vouch and agree with me that could say, what the fuck, man? Why do they still glamorize that lifestyle like that's okay? And I I'm pretty sure there's natives out there who could go out there and drink and just stop at one. But to be honest with you, the taste of alcohol, beer, I never liked it, but I still drank. And the taste of whiskey, I never liked it, but I still drank it. And the wine, I didn't like the taste of it, but I still drank it. And champagne, that was funny because that was the only thing that I liked. That didn't taste ugly, but it's so expensive. So it's like not not even a once a year thing for me to drink champagne. So episode 5, series 2, episode 5, Rez Dogs. It's a thumbs up in a humor sense, especially when he gets on the elevator with the girl's underwear on and the name tag. And he gets on the elevator with the four beautiful Native American, well, the four the four Indian, I don't know what there are, Indian women, indigenous women, the beautiful ladies on Rez Dogs. I finally snagged. And then when she was, tripping on her edible, and she's like, I feel it, let's go dance. And then they show the show them in matching outfits, blue, and they look glamorous, and they're all doing this team dance thing, disco style in the 80s. And then in reality, they look like this. That was probably the funniest part of the whole episode. But yeah, that's why I'm calling this this today's video Gary Farmer. in hopes that he sees this video along with the whole cast of Rez Dogs, because there are natives out there who are sober as fuck. Don't even smoke weed. I mean, you'll see videos of me smoking weed, but I haven't had it since the beginning of this month, August. It was a Wednesday, the second week of August. And it's not that I don't have money, it's because I don't have an ID. Because somebody stole my ID. It was in a beaded ID holder of a Bigfoot inside of a footprint, and it was made out of size 13 cut beads. And then and it had my tribal ID in it too. So I don't have a driver's license or a tribal ID. All I have is like my ID for the aquatic center for the Y, and my social security card. So it's like I got to start over, and I'm okay with that because that's all I've been doing ever since I got into recovery, was starting over, and I'm okay with that because that's what life is all about. Is every day is a different day where you can start over, like with the way you think, the way you talk, the way you behave in every aspect of your life. And yeah, today I had a good workout. My face is still red from my blood pumping because I'm still in the cool down phase and I'm still sweating. And I need to jump in the shower and make my way down to Heritage University because today's the first, well, actually the second day. I missed the first day because I was at the Longhouse helping cook for a funeral on Monday, which was the first day of Sahapton language class. But today's the second day and the last day you could show up to attend class. So, Sahapton is a language spoke along the Columbia River all the way up to the along the Snake River, and a dialect. So, it was a language that we all spoke kind of the same language, but we all had our own dialects. So, where I'm from, you know, Warren Springs, Oregon. I'm actually from Rock Creek, which is up here in Washington. But during World War II, the government told us at Rock Creek, you either go to Warren Springs, Yakima, or Umatilla. So some of us suppas went to Yakima, and then the other suppas went down to Warren Springs to Simnasho. So that's how come I'm enrolled in Warren Springs. Actually, I have Warren Springs, Wasco, Yakima, and Umatilla blood in me, but I'm enrolled in Warren Springs. But right now, I'm currently living on the Yakima reservation. So I'm gonna learn the Yakima dialect. They're very similar to the Warm Springs dialect. So Inknosh Wanikshas Lakaiski Yawa Shikesnaiku Shiapatunti Phoebe Sapa. And all I said is, my name is Lakaiski Yawa Shiksnai. Translation: the light within shines outwardly. And the reason why I got that name is because people describe me in that way. And so that's how I got that name, because of the way people see me. But in reality, I see people that way all the time. When you're in recovery, there's a time in your life when you become of service to people. And a lot of people, if you're an urban native, they look at it as chairing a meeting, and or well, I'm not. I kind of moved away from going to AA and NA and CA and Al-Anon, and I go to Celebrate Recovery, and it's based around the Bible, and they have 12 steps and 12 traditions, but it's based around the Bible. And the reason why I moved away from the other meetings that I used to go to, because they were too focused on the 13th step, and I wasn't trying to be that way, because when you're in recovery, it is a selfish program. You have to worry about yourself, because when you were actively using every single day of your life, when there wasn't a time in your life when you weren't sober, it was all about take care of others. We are always providing. Oh, I got some beer here. You know, you were buying 24 packs and 24 packs of 40 ounces, and and gallons of hard liquor so you could share with everybody. And you were buying a QP of weed so you could smoke with everybody. You were always sharing with everybody, taking care of everybody else because they were sick and hungover or something. But now that I'm sober, I'm not about trying to like snake. I'm not trying to find somebody. I am in a relationship, but that's why I moved away from the other meetings that I used to go to celebrate recovery, because nobody's focusing on the 13th step, and they're being real about being sober, because I sometimes need that support system and talk to other people and hang out with other people who are like minded with the same heart, with the same desires. And yeah, there's a lot I can talk about, but I just make this video for my four children: Dorothea, Levi, Buddy, and Clarissa, and my grandchildren: Braylon, Ezekiel, Alessandro, and Gabrielle. Because when that time comes, I hope that they find me on YouTube and watch my videos so they can get to know me better. Because I feel like they don't know me, because we're all separated and live in different parts. Like my daughter's way over there on the West Coast, getting ready to move to Kentucky. And and my other two kids, Buddy and Clarissa, are in Window Rock, Arizona. And my son Levi is in Warm Springs, Oregon. And my grandson Ezekiel's in Chicago with his dad, and Braylon's with her mom and dad in Kentucky. And Gabrielle and Alessandro's, I think they're in Seattle, Washington with their other grandma right now. So this is why I do the YouTube videos, is so, because this is true. When you pass away, they're going to start looking for you on social media. And YouTube is always going to show up, or Facebook, or whatever social media account that you have. And I'm hoping they find me and say, hey, look, Mom has a YouTube account. And then they push play and listen to them all. That's what I want them to do. Not just them, but anybody who's related to me, who feels like, huh, I wonder what was on Phoebe's mind. From Friends, the dingy blonde, of course. I have salt and pepper hair, but when my hair is down, it's all black. But, but I don't like sweat getting in my eyes when I'm out there jogging, working out. So I'm proud of my gray. I don't dye my hair black. I'm all natural. I don't even wear makeup. I'm still looking for that one indigenous woman who goes all natural, no makeup. Looks like I pluck my eyebrows, but I think when I used to pluck them, that's why it looks like the way it looks. So I don't know. Whatever. So I'm gonna go get ready for Sahaptin. Pamish dash pus up sakriya shasin mitchishkin. And I could say it slower. Pamish nash hu sapsakri ashash senrit chishkin. That means I'm trying to learn how to speak Sahaptin. And I'm not lying, because a lot of times when people say they're trying, it means they're lying. But I'm not, okay? And I'm trying to get rid of this lazy eye, from what's that movie called? When he's like, Lincoln, when he was aiming the gun. It was one of the first Native American movies that I watched. He was, I can't even think of what that movie's called right now. But, yeah. Anyways, I don't even know why that came up, but All right. I'm trying to avoid getting my double, triple chin right here. So that's another reason why I work out. Because when I hang out with my grandkids, I want to be able to keep up with them. All right. This time for real, I'm out. Have a good day. Love y'all. Peace, peace, peace. Love you. Yep, peace.